The Galaxy Note series has always been known for two things: its gigantic size and the S Pen. The Galaxy S20 Ultra released earlier this year matched the Note with the screen size, so really what the Note 20 is the Galaxy S20 Ultra with an S Pen and a few goodies sprinkled on top. That makes its target market rather obvious. Hey everyone, this is Abbas from Tech Radar, and we are looking at the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra today. Let's start with the design. From the front, the Note 20 Ultra looks very similar to last year's Note 10 Plus. It has that same squarish edges and curved display. It's slightly bigger and heavier than the Note 10 Plus, but overall the look is very similar, with a large screen and a small camera punch hole centered towards the top. Now flip them over and you see two very different phones. The super shiny and fingerprint-friendly back on the Note 10 Plus's Aura is replaced with a classy matte finish, at least on this bronze model that I have. And that small bump around the camera is now much more massive compared to the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. What will be a royal pain for S Pen loyalists is moving it from the right to the left side of the phone. I can understand why Samsung's done that, because the camera module now sits right above it, giving it more space for a battery, but you'll definitely need to retrain your muscle memory. Coming to the display, there isn't a huge difference between the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra and the S20 Ultra. Even though the Note 20 Ultra looks a tad bit bigger, it's 0.1 inches bigger than the Note 10 Plus by the way. They're both 6.9 inches in size with QHD resolutions. Neither supports 120Hz refresh rates at QHD resolution, though the Note 20 Ultra does come with a variable refresh rate, which means that it could drop to low refresh rates when you're not scrolling anything on the screen. This should help with better battery life, though it's a shame that we don't get 120Hz on QHD like we've seen on the OnePlus 8 Pro and the Oppo Find X2 Pro. I've said this many times and I'll say it again, I'm not a huge fan of curved screens since they tend to register accidental taps more frequently than flat screens. This is the case with the Note 20 as well. I really liked what Samsung had done with the S20 Ultra, where the screen was ever so slightly curved, but the Note 20 Ultra is very much like the Note 10 Plus in this regard. Now, Samsung is the first phone manufacturer to use the latest generation of Corning's Gorilla Glass Victus, which is supposed to be their toughest yet. Hopefully, that means that the phone will be more resistant to scratches and cracks, and no, I did not test that. My biggest disappointment with the Note 20 Ultra is with the chipset. I'm using the word disappointed with caution here because it's not like you'll find the phone slow. It's actually quite the opposite. However, when the S20 Ultra was released earlier in the year with the same Samsung Exynos 990 chipset, it proved to be less efficient than the Snapdragon 865 version that powered the rest of the world. With the Note 20 Ultra, this gap widens as some parts of the world will now get the newer Snapdragon 865 Plus, while the rest of us use the same Exynos 990 chipset found on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Honestly speaking, you won't notice the difference, but when you are spending as much as you will be on the Note 20 Ultra, you expect nothing but the best. The rest of the specs are fine, though, with the Note 20 Ultra equipped with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 or 512 gigs versions, 512 gigs of storage. There are both LTE and 5G versions available, but honestly, why would you want to get an LTE-only version on a phone this high-end? Dual SIMs are also supported, one of which could be an eSIM if you prefer that. If there was one area where the S20 Ultra backfired, it was with the camera. In particular, the focusing speed and the extreme zoom that resulted in unclear pictures. Samsung is using the same 108 megapixel primary sensor on the Note 20 Ultra. However, it now has laser focus added, which makes it much faster to focus. The zoom on the Note 20 Ultra has been reduced from 100x to just 50x. It's kind of funny really, because for any kind of meaningful zoom, you'd really want to get an SLR to shoot on. What I did find on the Note 20 Ultra zoom was that it felt a lot more stabilized than it did on the S20 Ultra. Maybe the updates on the S20 Ultra fixed that, but from what I remember, the S20 Ultra was quite shaky with its zoom and the Note 20 Ultra does not have that. The quality of the photos is on par with the rest of the high-end phones with the punchier Samsung look. Nighttime shots are also great, and so is the video mode, which now allows you to zoom in smoother steps and can switch between 3 mics on the phone, or an additional Bluetooth or USB-C mic. This could make the Note 20 Ultra a very powerful phone for shooting videos on. Samsung has equipped the Note 20 Ultra with a beefy 4500 mAh battery that's smaller than one found in the S20 Ultra but bigger than last year's Note 10 Plus. Battery life hasn't been very impressive with my testing. I get about 3 hours of screen on time, which isn't very impressive. However, I don't have the final software that is expected to ship with the retail version of this phone, and I've been told that it improves the battery life noticeably. That's generally been my experience with Samsung phones in the past, where battery life improves with software updates. Now, I'm hoping that's the case with the Note 20 Ultra as well. Coming to the charging technology, you get a 25-watt charger in the box and 15-watt wireless charging. Both of those numbers seem quite low or slow compared to other phones, but I can understand why Samsung would want to play it safe with the Note as far as battery life or battery charging is concerned. The biggest reason why most people get a Note is for the S Pen, and if you don't need an S Pen, the Galaxy S20 Ultra is probably a better bet because they're the same phones at heart. Now, I'm not a huge user of the S Pen, and about the only times I've used it other than for this testing for this review is to sign a document every now and then. But for those that love their S Pen, Samsung has made improvements on this year's Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. The S Pen now has much lower latency, making it work about as fast as a regular pencil. You also have support for system-wide gestures now, so you can navigate the phone using the S Pen. That will save you time if you already have the S Pen in your hands. This was a bit of a hit-and-miss feature for me, with some gestures working better than others. Samsung has also improved their Notes application, which can straighten slanted lines, put timestamps and audio recordings with your written notes, and sync to Microsoft Outlook, which should give you a nice productivity boost. Samsung has also updated the One UI to version 2.5 on the Note 20 Ultra, and the One UI continues to be my favorite Android skin. It's clean, fast, and adds enough features on top of Android. With the latest update, you can now have a third-party launcher working with Android gestures. Bixby still exists, and that's about all I have to say on that subject. So here's the thing with the Note 20 Ultra. If you compare it spec to spec with other flagship phones, there isn't much to see where the Note 20 Ultra comes out as a clear winner. There are other phones that offer faster performance, better screen, and better battery technologies, as well as a better camera. But there is one thing that the Note 20 has that other phones don't, and that is obviously the S Pen, and that really is the only reason you should be purchasing a Note series in the first place. The Note 20 Ultra is a reasonable jump from the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend you jump from that to the Note 20 Ultra. Yes, you get a better camera and a better S Pen, but neither of those are reasons enough to spend 4,000 dirhams. But if you have an older version of the Note, other than the Note 10, the Note 20 Ultra is a significant upgrade. It is the best phone Samsung has ever made. This is Abbas signing out, and for everything in the world of tech, please stay tuned to Tech Radar. Please do follow us on our social channels and YouTube channel.